Hello everyone, it's SpawnPoiint and we are officially in July, and that means we get to check out the 10 best new games dropping this month, because you and I both know it's going to be way too hot to go outside, so why not just sit in a cool dark room and play games instead? As always, drop a comment below telling me which games you were looking forward to, and we're going to jump straight in. Okay, so first up, a game that the developers have reported will be full of bugs, yes that was a terrible pun, is Grounded 2. So this is a game where it takes the vibe of Honey I Shrunk the Kids and combines it with the survival genre to create this pretty wild looking world. Now the first one was based in the garden or the backyard of their house, but this time we're heading to a new area called Brook Hollow Park. It's set in 1992 and filled with giant ice cream carts, vending machines and a huge map to explore. But it's not going to be exactly the same as the last game, as you are now able to ride bugs into battle. Seriously, you'll be able to jump on ants, spiders and even cockroaches to run around the map even faster than before. But the great news is, once again, you can either play it solo or via online co-op multiplayer, which is definitely how this game should be enjoyed. Jumping into insect fights with your mates in the park, especially in the heat of July, is definitely the way to go. And as it is a survival game, you still get the same crafting, building and hunger elements, and who doesn't want to ride a spider into battle? So Grounded 2 Early Access drops on PC and Xbox Series as well as Game Pass on July 29th. At the moment though, there is no mention for PlayStation or the PS5. And one for the Souls-like fans out there, we have Wuchang Fallen Feathers dropping this month. And honestly, this looks like it could be a sleeper hit. We have seen this done before, and from the trailers and the early gameplay, I think this is going to take us by surprise. So it's set in a dark, plague-ridden version of Ming Dynasty China, where it mixes historical settings with supernatural horror. You play as Wuchang, a warrior who's cursed with these feathery-like mutations, and the gameplay looks absolutely brutal. There's sword combat, dodging, parrying, and apparently a pretty unforgiving difficulty. But that's what we expect from these Souls-like games, so there's nothing new there. You certainly don't play these games to chill out, because you want to be pushed. It's also not your usual castle and crypt setting. You're going to be slicing your way through forests, haunted villages and temples. There's even a branching story with multiple endings, so depending on how you play and the choices you make, it will directly impact the story and the outcome of the game. So yeah, if you're a Souls-like fan, Wuchang Fallen Feathers drops on July 24th. And that will be on PS5, Xbox Series and PC, as well as coming straight to Game Pass. And also dropping on July 24th is Killing Floor 3, and this is shaping up to be an absolute bloodbath. If you've ever played the previous games, you already know what you're getting into here. Gore, waves of mutant freaks, extra gore, brutal co-op action, and even more gore than your average horror movie. Now this time is set in 2091 in this full-on dystopian world, and your job alongside your squad is to fight against the Mecha Corp who are out of control. At its core, this is an FPS 6-player co-op survival game where you need to customize loadouts, upgrade your weapons, and shoot to kill as many Zeds as you can. But this time, the enemies are smarter and stronger than ever, so it's going to be a serious challenge this time round. Also, visually, this is a huge step up, so we'll get to see blood, guts, and dismemberment in high quality detail as we're running around the neon-lit labs or the apocalyptic city. So yeah, if you're into your fast-paced FPS games and you want to play something different with your mates, Killing Floor 3 is one to watch out for. This drops on PS5, Xbox Series and PC on July 24th. And here's one that might have flown under your radar, because it did for me, and that's Eriksholm The Stolen Dream. Now this is a narrative-driven stealth adventure game with a super unique vibe. It's given me Coraline crossed with Gone Rogue, and I'm 100% for it. So it's set in the 1940s in this gritty industrial Nordic city where you play as a teenager named Hannah, and your mission is to find out what happened to her disappeared brother. But this is not an action heavy game, so you don't run around shooting or attacking people. It's more about sneaking around the town, down alleyways, solving puzzles and finding out the truth. It's one of those chill games you can sit back on the sofa and just enjoy and take in. Now the world certainly has this moody, almost stop motion feel to it, and visually this looks stunning. I'm also loving this top-down style and the overall visuals and art style. Now we've had quite a few top-ish down games lately like the Precinct and Deliver at All Costs, and I'm enjoying all of these right now. But anyway, Eriksholm The Stolen Dream drops on July 15th, and that's on PS5, Xbox Series and PC. Now let's talk about a serious blast from the past, and that is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4. And if you're like me and you grew up playing these games back on the PS1 and PS2, grinding those rails and chasing those combos, this one is going to hit you right in the feels. Now I played the demo for it last month, and the nostalgia from the intro screen alone hit me hard. So it's a follow-up remake from Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, and now they're giving the same treatment to the next 2 games in the series. And just like before, we're getting a full remaster of the classic Parks and Skaters, and we've even got some of the same awesome soundtracks as well. And this isn't just a resolution bump or a remaster, this is a full-blown remake. So we're getting updated graphics and smoother controls, but we still get the same old school skater vibe to it. Obviously we've got the Birdman himself, Tony Hawk, and they have also confirmed that BAM is making a return to the game along with a few new pros too. Otherwise, this looks like it's going to be everything that we remember. Combo chains, grinding rails, hidden tapes, and pretty legendary parks. We even get split screen back on this. Man, this is going to really take me back to 2001. Now, I am obviously hyped to play this, but the only downside is it is missing the story mode or the career mode from number 4. Absolutely no idea why this has been removed, as it's what made the difference between the others in the series. Now, maybe I'm alone with this, but I'm kind of hoping they at least add this back in either via a free update or maybe even a DLC. Anyway, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4 drops on July 11th, unless you go for the deluxe edition and you get to play this 3 days early on July 8th, and that's coming to PlayStation, Xbox, PC and Switch. And it's time to slide into our shiny new pair of metal boots in RoboCop Rogue City Unfinished Business. So this is a follow-up to the 2023 game, where to be honest I originally thought that this was going to be a DLC, but it is in fact a standalone game where you do not need the base game to play it. And if you have played the first one, you already know what this is about. It's that old school brutal justice. So you play as Alex Murphy, or RoboCop himself, and this time there is a new drug on the streets. So you're going to go full badass as always and take them all down. Now the devs have also promised new enemies, new weapons and a few tweaks to the gameplay to make the combat feel even tighter, but it still has that slow, heavy feel to it if you did in fact like it in the first game. We'll then get waves of enemies, more open areas to patrol, side quests and moral choices that will change how things play out. Now this is definitely one of those games that feel like it was made in the 80s or early 90s, and this is how you would remember it today. So they have absolutely nailed this vibe. And if you're ready to clean up the streets again in old Detroit, this releases on July 17th on PS5, Xbox Series and PC. Okay, and if you're into your tactical FPS, this next one looks unreal, or real. Actually, it looks really real. So this is Ready or Not, and it has been on PC since 2023, but this month it is finally coming to the consoles, both the PS5 and Xbox Series. So you play as part of a SWAT team, taking on high-stake missions, hostage rescues, bomb threats, active shooters, the lot. Now you can storm and clear rooms, use real police tactics and communicate with your squad to make sure you're doing everything above board. Now this isn't an arcade run and gun type game. This is a very tactical game where you kind of need to slow down and take your time, because one wrong step and this is game over. But what makes Ready or Not stand out is just how realistic this is. Not just the missions and the tactical element, but the sound design, the lighting, and even the AI. The enemies are also all very unpredictable, where they might rush you, comply, or just pull out a gun. But it keeps it real and pretty intense feeling. Now when you're playing this, you can either go at it solo or via online co-op, which I can imagine being the best way to do it. So this drops on July 15th on PS5 and Xbox Series. Then if you're craving that classic Ninja Gaiden formula, we're talking 2D, side-scrolling, fast, fierce ninja action, we have Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. And this is looking both fresh and retro at the same time. So as you can see, they've gone back to this old school art style with that pixelated side-scrolling layout, almost a nostalgic vibe which I really like. But don't worry, it's still going to be that hardcore ninja action that the series is known for. We've got dark ancient forces, a new mysterious curse, faster combat, and somehow is even bloodier than before. It also looks dark and gritty with a polished look, if that makes sense. And although it is still brutally difficult, there are some much needed quality of life updates, including smarter checkpoints and accessibility difficulty options, so that is going to be perfect if you are new to the series and you're jumping in at this game. So if you want to check out that old school skill-based action, Ninja Gaiden Ragebound launches right at the end of this month on July 31st, and that's going to be on pretty much everything, including the PS4, PS5, Xbox, PC and Switch. And DK is finally back with Donkey Kong Bananza, dropping on July 17th. That's going to be exclusively on the Switch too. So now this marks DK's first all-new 3D platformer since Tropical Freeze in 2014. And come to think of it, this could be the first 3D outing since the N64 days. Might need to double check that. Anyway, this is one that I'm really hyped to play because I did manage to play this as a hands-on experience in an event in April. So I am really excited to play this one again. Now you play as DK set in this huge underground sandbox level with a completely destructible environment, and that means you can quite literally smash through walls and make your own route and path around the map. And visually, this really shows off what the Switch 2 can do. It's also got a higher resolution, super clean animations, and crazy smooth gameplay. But just going back to the whole destructible thing, being able to jump around, smashing everything in sight feels incredibly satisfying and fun to do. Also, there is a co-op mode where Pauline will jump on your shoulders using vocal blast to clear enemies around you. There's even going to be the new Joy-Con mouse support for her attacks, which is pretty cool. So if you are a Switch user, this is going to be a must-buy, I think, for you, as Donkey Kong Bananza will be available on July 17th exclusively on the Switch 2. And next up is a free-to-play game which drops on July 1st, so it's out right now, and that is Mecha. So this is an online PvE and PvP game which combines what looks like Titanfall with a Gundam art style, and it looks like absolute chaos. We're talking fast-paced combat, massive explosions, and over-the-top movement. You can also either play it via big 6v6 team battles, PvE missions, or a 48-player battle royale mode. Oh, and the good news is this game is completely free. So if you're in the mood for something fast, free, and different from the usual shooter lineup, Mecha is out right now on Xbox and PC, and we're just waiting to hear when the date is coming for the PS5. We then have a few bonus games that are definitely worth mentioning but haven't really made their lineup today. First up is Astrobot is getting a new update this month, where they are once again giving us 5 new levels, speed runs, and bots to collect. This will be available via a free update on July 10th. And if you somehow managed to never play the Last of Us games, firstly, where have you been? Well, there is a complete edition that releases on July 10th. This gives us a combo pack of both games, either physically or digitally, but if you've played them already, this bundle gives you nothing new from what I can see. And don't forget the PlayStation Plus games for July. So right now until August 4th, you'll be able to download and keep these games if you are a PS Plus member. So we're getting Diablo 4 on PS4 and PS5, The King of Fighters 15 and Jusant. Remember, even if you don't plan on downloading or playing them this month, make sure you add them to your library. That way you will always be able to come back to these and play them even when the month is over. And as for what I'm currently playing, as of today, I'm making my way through Death Stranding 2 on the beach. Now, I'm only about 10 hours in so far, but I am really loving this, and in fact preferring this over the previous game. Now, I know this is going to take up so much of my time over the coming weeks, but I'm still going to try and play Tony Hawk's and fancy giving Killing Floor 3 a go. I just need a team to jump on with me now. But what about you guys? What are you looking forward to playing in July? And please let me know if I've missed any that I should have included in today's video. Now, drop a nice games July in the comments and I'll give you a thumbs up for staying right till the end. And if you did enjoy today's video, check out my unboxing of the new Meta Quest 3S headset next. Well, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and follow me everywhere. Until next time.